Cool, cool. All right. Interesting, interesting. All right. Don't want to forget to record. Here we go. I'm going to start with a little mindset minute here. My oldest son, Caden, is playing baseball in college, and we've like I'm a baseball head for forever and ever. And I mean, he and I have just we've been geeking out on baseball for pretty much his entire life. And so we're always sharing stuff back and forth between each other, tweets and, reels and so forth. And I saw this over the weekend, and it has everything to do with being successful as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. So I'm going to read the whole thing, but don't get lost in the hitting stuff. I'll get to the punchline, which you can already kind of see circled in big and red. But every hitter I've coached who struggles tends to have the same problem. They have the tools, they look great in the cage, then the game starts and something's off. They bail on swings, they crush in BP, they second guess, they look like a different hitter. It's not mechanics, not strength, not lack of reps. It's one thing. The thing that separates the hitter that's feared versus the hitter that gets attacked. The thing that you can see from a mile away. That one word, that one thing is conviction. Conviction, conviction, conviction. Said another way, belief. Belief. Believing in yourself, believing in your skills, and believing that the work you're doing is going to yield you the result that you are looking for. Having the belief and conviction that if I just do the work and I do it enough times, I get enough repetitions, I will win. I will win. Even if today I don't win, or tomorrow I don't win, or even this week I don't win. If I do the right thing enough with conviction, believing that it will work, not just going through the motions, but actually believing this is work worth doing, that will yield you the results. Seeing isn't believing. Sorry, this is the wrong quote. I meant to grab the quote. It's from the Santa Claus. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, which is seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. I thought that's what this was, but again, I was a little bit rushed this morning. I feel like I was playing catch up all morning. And the point of that, that was like Tim Allen talking with the one elf who's like making him hot chocolate, and he was having the conversation about believing in Santa Claus or not, and the idea being believing in something that you can't necessarily see. Like later this morning, I'm going to do some work on here that I won't be able to see the results of that work until I actually do the work. But I know I have evidence that doing that work more often than not creates me more opportunities than not doing that work. All right. I'm going to get into that, which is promoting a coming soon listing with a cool little upgrade to a tool that I've been using for quite a while now that I just I figured I'd use as a opportunity to share and test here live. But I got a text message, or a series of text messages on Saturday from one of our Lead Deck Founders Club members. And after being a little bit frustrated that he was bombarding me with texts on a Saturday evening, rather than going and finding the solutions or going and posting in the community so he can get a crowdsourced response, which if you're listening, Rugesh, that's what you should do next time. There's lots in here that I want to share. So He says, sorry to bother you. I have tax default leads, which I ran for 25 leads. So basically, he used LeadDeck to go and grab 25 tax default leads and started sending a few sellers. 2 already replied. 1 seller said yes, but I'm kind of confused, not sure what to say at this point. She said possibly she would consider a strong offer at full market value or better. Want to get your opinion. She's saying just include comps, a clear offer or range, and proof of funds. I mean, this is a very detailed analytical seller. So I'm just going to, there may or may not be something to be had here. But what we're trying to do is get conversations so we can write contracts and close transactions, right? So it's all part of the process. If you get a chance, please help when you can. I'm glad I've signed up for this LeadDeck.ai. Very accurate information about the seller. I pointed him back to some training in Launchpad to start with. And he said, got to thank you. I've already signed up and put an address, got a bunch of cash offers that came up. I'm not sure which one to pick. The seller also wants it with proof of funds. Are they going to provide proof of funds? Blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm glad I've signed up for this. He's saying it again. Never seen a system like this. So here's what I thought I would spend a couple minutes on. He's using fastcashoffers.ai for instant offers. And that's the buyer, the portfolio buyer that he's bringing to this potential seller. And so I'm going to walk through my process with that and the thinking behind that. I'll also point out for anyone on here, I have been able to get proof of funds letters from QuickBuy, Zoomkassa, and Zoodealio. So if you have a seller like that wants proof of funds, which is very justifiable, right? Before I say yes to an offer, can this person actually perform? Like even Friday, the offer that I got it was Friday morning or Thursday night. It was a cash offer, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm presenting it, or as I'm getting ready to present it to my seller, I thought, I don't have proof of funds here. And not that I had any doubt that she could perform, because I know this person. And I can see from LeadDeck, by the way, that she owns a bunch of properties and has a ton of equity. Regardless, I want to be able to demonstrate to my seller, this is someone that can perform. So I went back and got her proof of funds. Point is, if you reach out to Danielle with Zoomkassa or Cheryl with QuickBuy or one of the many contacts at Zoodealio, they will give you a proof of funds letter. Now, I will say of the 3, the one that seemed the least legitimate is Zoodealio's, at least the one that they gave me. Not that they're not legitimate. Their letter just was like nonsense. I mean, it just was like something I could have written up, whatever. QuickBuy and Zoomkassa actually gave like real, more substantial proof of funds. That was a side note for whatever it's worth. What do you do when you get, you put an address in and you get a whole bunch of offers back? So I've gone through this exercise several times, but it came up again. So why don't we use it as an opportunity to learn and grow together here? What I should have done though is grabbed a property. What property should I do this with? Let me grab one that I have an appointment with this afternoon that I've already run this on, but I'm going to do it again because, oh, you know what? No, because this is so rural that we didn't get many offers back. Who's got an address we can pop in here? Who's got some? Stuart, I see your note. We stink right now. We being the Phillies. Stuart's mocking me in the chat that the Braves put it on the Phils, rightfully so. All right. Well, let's do. Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead. Hold on. Here we go. Go ahead. Good morning. Beautiful. Okay. So step 1, we simply enter the address. We hit get offers. It takes 5, 10, 15, sometimes as much as 30 seconds for all of this to load and populate. It's going to find data. It's going to find the AVM values from the 4 different AVM providers that are integrated here, that are API integrated. It's building all of that, and we're almost there. Boom. Okay, so in this case, we have Zoomcasa and Zoomdelio or Zoodelio. For whatever reason, we don't have Quick Buy or Easy Street offers. So this is still a lot of offer options, but I've got many properties where you'll get even more. And depending on your market, you may have Homeward, and there's a couple of other options as well. And yet this is still plenty for us to go through this exercise. Step 1, save property. This is, if you've been using this for a while, they changed it from save snapshot, because snapshot, like, what does that even mean, to save property, because then it becomes a saved property in your dashboard. Okay. Then what I do as a best practice is I only want to have 2 or 3, at most 3 offer options showing when I, at some point, share this with the potential seller. And to do that, we just hit this I with a slash through it. It's just the hide icon. So I'm going to hide that cash offer option because, quite honestly, that's insulting. It's like 60% of the AVM values, and we don't want to insult the seller. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to leave the cash flex available, and I don't know. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to use the dual close and the buy first, sell later, because I don't know if this is owner occupied, if they're trading up or they're relocating, and maybe this is a good viable option for them. Okay. In instances where I've got good single close options, in other words, Quick Buy tends to have a strong single close option, strong meaning like close to market value or a lot closer to market value than this one that I hid, this cash offer at 290. I'll leave that there as well. Now I can go and share. I can hit the share button, and the seller view I can open in a new window, and I can then share this with the seller. It gives them the name of the type of transaction and the name of the program, but not the name of the company. And it also gives them the AVM value ranges. They can click on this and get more information about how these work. Both of these. I will tell you that if you share these without context, it is, generally speaking, not good form, not good practice. So I would either explain in text with this to some degree, or what I more often or more commonly do is I will record a video. I use Loom with my webcam in the bottom left, and I explain these preliminary offers very briefly. And I also will seed. By seed, I mean like I'll plant the seed of my 7-day stress-free home sale. That's sort of my best practice as far as that goes. And each situation or scenario is different because each property is different, and what you know about the seller might be different. So if I know that I've got an absentee owner and the property's vacant, well, then this buy first, sell later doesn't make any sense. So I would hide that one. If I know I've got an owner occupant and they have to sell, or they think they need to sell to be able to move, then I might include this buy first, sell later to plant the seed that, hey, we have a solution that would actually allow you to buy your next home first. So you only have to move once, and then we can vacate the current property, which means we can most likely sell it faster and for more money. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Any questions as far as follow up to that? Yeah. Yep. I have no problem publicly saying I wouldn't even bother with Easy Street. I have never had a good experience with them. I'll put it more strongly. I've had nothing but terrible experience with them. So I didn't. They've been on the platform. They've been pulled off, and then I guess they've just recently been added back on. Um, do your own due diligence. Explore if you think it's worth it. But I would say, generally speaking, the two that I can say with the most confidence that you can eat um, that are good to work with, responsive, etc., are Zoomkasa and QuickBuy. And I'll also say that, at least from what I've seen, what when there's like wildly different numbers, from what I've seen, it usually means the AVMs are also pretty wildly different. Now that might not have been the case, but you'll find, like, I've had it doesn't happen often, but and I won't be able to find an example here live, but there are times where you will pull a property and three of the four AVMs are pretty close, and then one of them's like $150,000 higher or $150,000 lower. And different companies, yeah, so different companies use different algorithmic value models. And I don't even know what that one is. Um, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, interesting, interesting. So let me just, I'll say, in those cases, whether or not it was the exact scenario that you mentioned, Sean, in those scenarios, what I will typically do is I will let the seller know what's going on. Hey, for whatever reason, we're getting some conflicting data and information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get with my buyer rep so I can confirm these preliminary numbers before I bring them back to you, because I don't want to set unrealistic expectations or whatever, however you want to word that. But in those instances, I will usually just kind of keep them. I'll narrate alongside for them so they know that, like, I didn't just get them to say yes and now I'm just leave them hanging, but that something doesn't seem to be adding up. And so I just need another day or two to confirm. And then I'll typically go to Zoomkasa because they'll do a manual review, and bring it back faster than QuickBuy. You actually have to submit the property through their app, which can be tedious and, can be a pain, very transparently. And you can't submit there unless you have photos of the property as well, which can be a good reason or opportunity for you to get in person with the seller lead. So you can also use that as a reason to get, the quick pop by tour, which is, hey, the data is very conflicting on your property for whatever reason. Is there any chance I could pop by for a quick tour just so I can, get photos for the property, because these companies that we work with require that we have firsthand um, photos taken. Um, so that would be another way to potentially handle it. Now, this is an existing client you have, or right? Sure. I'm sure you're already thinking along these lines, but if not, I forget when I mentioned this last week, but using this as an opportunity to get you more opportunity. In other words, ensuring that whether or not you actually get to help him sell this property, list it or list it on the market or bring the buyer or whatever, turn that into more opportunity for yourself. What does that look like? That looks like following the posting strategy that I'm going to do here in a minute. Um, in a minute, I'm going to use my coming soon listing, but you would follow the same process, but it would be an off market, an off market investment property. Number one. Number two, calling the active landlords in that area and let them know that you have an off market turnkey rental property, or however you want to frame what it is as an asset, and you'll get plenty of those active landlords that have no interest because they're trying to buy at a discount and force value. But I've got several guys now that if you just talk to enough of them, that would be, you know, that would love a property like that because of the appreciation, of the depreciation, and they don't care so much about the monthly cash flow. I mean, they don't want to have a big negative spread on the monthly cash flow, but they're just playing the long game, appreciation and depreciation, and they're okay with that. And they may not pay like, 100% of market value, but if it just needs to be good enough to make it work. Um, yeah, yep. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna try and use that as a way to illustrate the point I was making. Is anytime you do that kind of additional work, find ways to turn that into more opportunity. In other words, the work that Wendy did to prepare, is there something that you could do with that creates more opportunity flow for you? And sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't, but just constantly be looking through that lens. In other words, it's not just will I get this listing? Can I get this listing sold? But how can I turn this into more opportunity? And obviously, you want to do your best for actual clients and actually do that. But I'm saying you also need to think about your business and how you can leverage that into more potential opportunities, short term and long term. So good, good share, good share. All right, I'm going to so we're going to wrap on this today, which is this offer platform, the instant offer exercise that we did earlier. You can get free unlimited access to the instant offer portal. There is a premium upgrade with that platform that gets you some additional marketing features, including 50 free leads from a script that captures visitors when they go and visit different websites. You can also now build single property pages like this one I built for this coming soon listing I have going on the market later this week that have a number of different features and functionality, including the fact that the lead capture script that I mentioned is already auto installed on this. In other words, if I send 100 visitors to this page, even if none of them hit contact agent or request a tour or any of I think that's the only two ways that I could capture a lead the way I currently have it set up. Even if none of them do that, I will capture 15 to 25 of those 100 as leads, and they'll be auto-populated in BoldTrail, my integrated CRM with the tool. If you're interested in that premium upgrade, let me know. You can get a free trial, and then it's I think it's $97 a month. It includes 50 free leads each and every month. Okay, using that lead capture tool. I say all that to set up or tee up the fact that I am going to I'm going to post. I'm going to follow my posting process for this coming soon listing right now, and show you my current flow for this. So I'm going to post this in a number of different places. I'm going to post it on Facebook. I'm going to post it on Nextdoor. I'm going to post it on my Google business page, and I'm going to post it as a community post on my YouTube channel. Those are the primary places that I'm going to. I think that's it. I'm also going to not today, but at some point this week, send it out to my. I'm going to email blast it as well, part of my deals of the week. And I need to first decide what media content I'm going to use. Now, I put the sign out the other day, and when I did, I grabbed a couple of photos. And I think I'm going to use this one. What I will also do sometimes with a post like this is the Google Earth Studio fly-in media, which I have a standalone. Actually, it's in this resource. I'm going to drop the link to the resource in the chat, which is a reason why, if you're watching on one of the live streams and you're not in our school community, you should join the Skool community for free, because that's where you can get the easiest access to resources like this that I'm about to drop in the chat for everyone. And in this, there is the strategy for, yeah, right here, the Google Earth strategy. But for this morning, I am just going to send, I'm gonna airdrop this picture to myself, and I'm just going to use this image that I took Friday. It's nice clear blue sky, and it should work really well for what we're doing here. I'm going to change the naming of it. Actually, you know what? I didn't do the media edit trick either. So when possible, you can add keywords as captions. Let me pin myself here. Oops. You can add captions, which is where you can put keywords. And if the location isn't already populated, which this is because I took it on site, but if you don't take the image on site, you can manually add the location. So I'm going to add a caption. Home for sale, Shippensburg, PA, Southampton Township, Cape Cod, investor special, handyman, fixer upper. I had to spell my name because Siri can't spell my name. EXP Realty, realtor, listing agent, real estate. Now that is stuffed with keywords right there. Costs nothing, might as well do it. Can't hurt anything. So now that I did that, now I'm resharing that to my, there we go. Okay. So I've got the image here. Where is it? Here it is. And whoops. Coming soon in Shippensburg, PA-Southampton Township Franklin County. I'm including this context because Shippensburg, it's like we have some like weird things in Pennsylvania. So there's Shippensburg, Cumberland County. There's Shippensburg in Franklin County. Shippensburg Borough is only in Cumberland County. This is Shippensburg. It has a Shippensburg address, but it's Southampton Township, and it's in Franklin County, not in Cumberland County. All of that matters to some people, so I'm including all of that context because literally some people will not buy if it's Shippensburg in Cumberland County, but they will buy if it's Shippensburg in Franklin County. Whatever. Let me put a little emoji here. Do the megaphone. By the way, I could have Claude or ChatGPT or any of, whatever your AI of choice. I could have them, either one of them, any of them do this. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to plow through it myself. And I'm going to put the description or the bulk of the description that I have currently in the MLS. For more information / details, go to, and I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to drive traffic to this single property page, test how this this works for capturing leads, or text. What is the code that I used on this one? So I have my signs. My signs all have a QR code and a text code to capture. And I have like a internal system for tracking that. So, or text to 717-510-1452. And I'll send you all the photos, disclosures, and more. usually just will put this at the bottom and give people as many ways possible to contact me in a post like this. And I'll put my email. So right now I'm on Facebook. I am posting this. Crap. No, I'm not. Hold on. I got to copy this. I need to switch to my business page. So I'm switching to my business page here. Now I'm going to make the post. Wi-Fi isn't cooperating this morning. Here we go. Post that. Whoops. Okay. Now I'm going to tag my personal profile, and I have another business page that has followers and likes, etc., but I can't use it in ads anymore. So I post on this one. I don't know. Facebook added a restriction. I don't know. I get all the time by Facebook. They're always smacking me for something. I mean, it's a constant cat and mouse game with Facebook. So I've added those. Sometimes I'll drop a pin. Southampton Township. Yeah, Southampton Township, Franklin County. I'll just drop that. Why not? I'm going to hit next. And I will post that. Now, while I'm waiting for that to post, I'm going to go to Nextdoor. I'm going to paste in my same post. I'm going to add a location. I'll put the actual address. And that should do it for that. Then I'm going to go to Google Business Profile. Post. Add post. Select photos. I'm going to paste in. Now, on Google Business Profile, you can't have all this gobbledygook. They won't let you have phone numbers, links, or even a text call to action like that. So what I do instead is I copy the link, and for more information or details, tap Learn More below. Learn more. Sometimes if I just want people to call, and depending on what I'm posting, you can put call. I typically only do call now or learn more. Call now or learn more. Post that. Now, so this is my YouTube channel. I'm going to hit create post, image. That image that I have the tag or like the, I forgot. So I need to go back to one of these. Yep. Go and copy my text here. Oops. Come on. There we go. Now, if Sean, not Sean Herndon, who was talking here, but Sean, my Lead Deck co-founder, if he were here, he would be just ruthlessly giving me shit that I'm doing this and I don't have Claude Cowork doing it, which I'm working towards that end. This is fun. So yesterday morning, this is just a side note, and because I have ADHD. Yesterday morning with Claude and a pot of coffee, I wrote a book. Now, I fed it all of the content that I had curated that I wanted to turn into that. And, I almost had the book and the audio book done yesterday. But if you want a copy of it, hit me up. I would love to share a draft of it and get your feedback. It's called One Deal a Week. Actually, here, I'll pull it up. This is the draft copy of it. I'll pull it up and I'll share my screen again here. So it's here you go. One deal a week, the 3-step blueprint for real estate agents who want to stop the feast and famine cycle forever. I would love the feedback, some feedback. I'll drop it in the chat for those that Stuart, don't print this out yet. It's just the rough draft. You can print it out. Just kidding. All right. What anybody else have anything for the good of the group? That posting process, by the way, there's lots of different ways that you could do that. I do that with Coming Soon. I do it with Just Listed. I do it once it's under contract. I do it once it's sold. Just that it's a slight variation of media and copy, etc. But all of that costs nothing and gets me anywhere from tens to hundreds to sometimes thousands of views. It's free exposure. It's free, branding and impressions and so forth. So it's not just about, is it generating leads? It's just impression. And this listing, no one asked this, but I was hoping somebody would, and nobody did, but whatever. So I'm going to answer it anyway because I wanted to. This listing was an inbound organic call from my Google business profile. Okay. And I can't say this with 100% certainty, but here's what I'm fairly certain led to this. In the fall, the early version, like not even 1.0 version of LeadDeck, I used to reach out to an investor by the name of Ben Wilson about a bank-owned property in Shippensburg. I was literally following the book. Okay. I was following the 3-step blueprint that book is about. Find on-market bait, use that as a reason to reach out to the active buyers in the market. So I found this bank-owned foreclosure property in Shippensburg. I call Ben. We go back and forth. We negotiate with the bank. We literally, it was like cat and mouse. We submitted an offer. They countered. We countered. Nothing. Week later, we submit another offer. Basically the same offer. They countered higher than the first time they countered back. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, we end up getting it for less than what his max allowable offer was. Just through persistence and timing and etc. So that transaction closed in January. I posted about that transaction the exact same way that I just shared here. I wasn't the listing agent, but I sold it, right? I was the selling agent. So I posted that, and Ben wrote me a Google review. Within a month, I get this inbound call from Craig Harry. I mean, I can't say with certainty that's why, but logically speaking, it makes a lot of sense. Point is, one thing leads to another, to another, to another. I would not have gotten that inbound call if I didn't do the work to get the transaction, to get Ben to leave me a review, to post about that area, because it's not an area that I've done a lot of business in. But yeah. Can we list coming soon on our Google business profile? Absolutely. Why couldn't you? EXP is sharing coming soon on all portals now. So absolutely. And I have it, the rules in our MLS, forget what it is. I might have broke the rules this weekend. Because I think I think I was supposed to have it in the MLS sooner than I think I had to sign out too soon. I had the signed listing agreement, but I should have had it coming soon in the MLS Saturday morning. Now that I'm thinking back through it, hopefully Bright's not listening. I don't want to fine Bright. Please don't find me. It was an honest mistake. But yeah, as far as I know, you can post coming soon. I don't see any reason. I mean, it's not legal advice, whatever. Check with your local broker, blah, blah, blah. But all right. Here's the schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow morning, I am going to do a bonus live session where we're going to follow the 3-step deal blueprint with Valerie Wilkes, an agent in my EXP organization in Foley. What is that? In our Orange Beach? No, Orange Beach? No. What is that? What's the beach down there? Foley, Alabama, and then I don't know. I forget what the name of the beach is. I should know this. But we're going to follow the 3-step deal sprint blueprint. We're going to find a deal. We're going to use that as bait to reach out to active landlord buyers, cash buyers, maybe multifamily buyers, depending. And we're going to see how quickly we can get, ready, willing, and able clients and contracts, which is a precursor to the. I'm going to do a 30-minute lunch and learn tomorrow on that deal blueprint, and then blueprint, and then Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, instead of doing our live prospecting, we're doing a paid workshop to walk people through that. Now, for Founders Club members and existing Lead Deck licensees, you can come and attend that for free, and we'll get you that link, if not this afternoon, tomorrow on our Founders Club Mastermind, or you can just hit me up in the meantime. But that's the plan for the week. I'm doubling back on what has been the most, the most predictable, profitable way to be writing contracts very, very quickly. All right. Let's make it a great week. The weather's all over the place. We have a frost warning tonight, and that's going to be 78 degrees later in the week, but that's Central PA. I was also worried about getting sunburnt on Saturday. and then yesterday it was windy and 48 degrees. C'est la vie. All right. Thanks all. Let's make it a great one.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
All right. So let me. If you get, I'm confused what we're referring to here.
So
if you get house for okay. So price range wise, okay. I'm sorry. It's early. Well, it's not that early, but my brain isn't firing on all cylinders yet. So the price range you're thinking is, up to $250, and you're willing to make repairs if necessary. Is that
correct?
Okay. That makes sense.
Because I called the numbers that you sent it to me.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it's Miriam.
Maria and
he
Jeff
called
were
me
the
back,
two.
but
Yep.
I called the number, the other one, Jeff.
Okay.
And then he did call me back, and then we talked a little, and then he said it will be the same amount I will get qualified, same as my bank approved me.
Okay.
So, but I'm willing to like prepare the house.
Okay.
Because my dad used to work before, like fixing the houses and all that stuff. So he was willing to help me. And also, if there's a house and then it's a little bit more and I need more, he said he's willing to like help me out.
Okay. And can you just double confirm for me what area or area